And even now blue is always here. And even now blue it shines so clear. I don't need a prayer or even words to say. No matter what I do, I'll never reach your answer. Colors of summer are sealed on my heart. And rolling right down from my cheeks is the sound of love to start. The words I have for you are stuck. It just feels like a curse that I can't contain. Will the two of us meet again? I wish I told you back then. My hands will feel what to wear. The time you rise with this galaxy so fast about me.
Hey guys, it's TDA Fan 2024. In this video, I'll be talking about the show that I just finished. Knuckles, 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 the spin-off series from the Sonic movie cinematic universe, whatever they're doing. I heard they're trying to make it into like a movie cinematic universe, kind of like the MCU. And I don't know how I feel about that yet. I'm going to wait till Sonic 3, of course, but we'll see what's up. Knuckles. So this 6-episode event just dropped yesterday, the day that I'm filming this. And today I was able to finish the series. And in this video, I'll be talking about my thoughts on the show. So the Sonic movies, I know they don't really get a good rep, critically and financially. I mean, the first one came out like 2020, so like that was an obvious, or it's obvious why it did not do well. But the second one, from what I remember, I believe the second movie did do pretty good financially. Critically not so well, but financially yes. And I know, like, based from Sonic fans' perspectives, that they really enjoyed these Sonic movies. Most of them anyway. I know a couple of them probably don't, because they are really different compared to the games. But I'm pretty sure that's their intention, the people behind these films. And me personally, I enjoyed the Sonic films. I saw both of them in theaters, and I honestly liked them a lot, especially the second movie. The second movie was really good in my opinion, and I saw the movie like 3 times as of now, or as of today. So, like, yeah, pretty much I like the movies. And I was honestly really excited when they announced this spin-off series that was going to focus on our favorite red echidna, Knuckles. Then I watched it, and I have to tell you, overall, it's a fun show. Like, it did get a lot of chuckles out of me. There were a lot of scenes that I saw myself laughing. And yeah, it was honestly a really funny show. So I have to admit, I have to give it a bit of extra points just because it was giving me to laugh. But as a show overall, like the story and how they handle characters and whatnot, yeah, I have to say I was a bit disappointed. And I was looking online to see people's receptions and thoughts on the show, and it's pretty mixed because I see a lot of people that actually like the show, and also a lot of people that do not, that actually think this show sucks and would probably consider it to be the worst. If I had to rank this show amongst the 2 Sonic films, I would honestly rank this show below, because I found this show to not be as enjoyable as the 2 Sonic films, which is honestly upsetting, because you'd think that a spin-off series that's revolving around a fan favorite Sonic character would be great and maybe even better than the movies, but it was not the case for this show. I don't want to go into spoiler territory since it barely came out, and I'm guessing most of you guys do not have Paramount Plus, so I'm guessing most of you guys haven't even seen the show. But I just want to say, I'm just gonna like briefly talk about the show. I don't want to give too many away, but I will just say some major important things that like are okay to say, I guess. I don't know. I'm just gonna full on go through the show. So the 6 episodes, they are not that long. Like, for example, Invincible season 2, like every episode is like 50 minutes or longer. This show, though, like the longest episode is like 33 minutes. Every other episode is either 30 minutes or less. So you can legit get this done in like 3 hours, maybe less than 3 hours. And I guess that's one thing that I didn't really like. I feel like if the episodes were longer, maybe the plot points that the show tries to tell would be handled a lot better. But because of the short runtime for each episode, I think a lot of things had to get rushed, and that was honestly not a good thing, of course. Knuckles himself, I do like Idris Elba playing as Knuckles. I think he does a great job as Knuckles. But for a show called Knuckles, especially for the later half of this series, Knuckles does not get a lot of screen time. The second main character, who is honestly the main character in the show for some reason, Wade, that other cop from the films, he's like the second main character in the series, although the most of the series it feels like he's the main character because, like I said, Knuckles, there's a lot of episodes, or most of the episodes, Knuckles is barely in it. Like, he does not get a lot of screen time. And the second character, Wade, he gets a lot. Like, this show focuses more on Wade's story rather than Knuckles' story. And that's probably my biggest issue. I mean, I don't hate Wade as a character. As a matter of fact, I thought he was pretty funny in the films. And he did get me to laugh a lot in this movie. Like, he's probably the funniest character in this show. But, like, it's called Knuckles for a reason. I expected to see Knuckles go through this development, I guess, of, becoming a better echidna, like a better character overall, and pretty much being the same like Sonic and Tails, loving Earth, loving their human friends and whatnot. We do end up seeing that with Knuckles. He does end up having a good relationship with Wade and Wade's family. Yes, we actually can see Wade's family in the show, and I don't really care about his family at all, especially the sister. She was so annoying in this show, probably the worst character in the show, of course. But I feel like we saw too much of Wade's story. Like, throughout the show, Wade is trying to like meet his dad and win this bowling tournament, and in the end, he does, of course. But we find out that his dad is a douche, and things like that, family business, and I just didn't really care for it at all. I mostly cared about the Knuckles stuff, of course. I'm guessing most people who watch the show would, of course, only want to see what's going on with Knuckles. And I would say for the first episode, we do get to see more of Knuckles. Or the first episode is probably the only episode where we see Knuckles the most, rather than the other 5 episodes, because Knuckles gets sidelined hard, especially in the last 3 episodes, and it's honestly kind of sad, especially for a show called Knuckles. So, yeah, that's another big issue. And I have to say, the new villains that are introduced in this series are bad. And when I say bad, they're really bad. Like, the main antagonist, we barely see. And once he does show up, he's only in it for like 5 minutes. I guarantee you, in this entire show, in the entire runtime of the complete series of all 6 episodes, I bet the main villain only shows up for like less than 10 minutes. And that's that's not kind of sad. That's really sad. And he, like, the final battle, like CGI wise, how it looks visually, it was pretty cool, but it was also very short and rushed, and it was not a great fight. Like, compared to the action-packed scenes we get in the movies, like, they don't even come. This show, their scenes doesn't even come close. But I will admit, I was shocked to hear Christopher Lloyd's voice playing Knuckles' great-grandfather or something. I forgot the character's name, but he's related to Knuckles, and he's voiced by Christopher Lloyd. And if you don't know who he is, he plays Doc Brown in the Back to the Future films. So I was like, that's crazy, especially since I just barely finished the Back to the Future trilogy before I finished this show. So I was like, that's coincidence. But yeah, that's like only one good thing. And there was like this whole moment of like inside Wade. It was like inside Wade's mind, and he was like pretty much imagining like this entire rock musical that pretty much tells you Knuckles' story, but in musical form. And I was just cringing so hard throughout that entire scene. And I was like, what am I watching? So there's a lot of moments in this show that I honestly did not enjoy, but there were a few moments that I did enjoy. Seeing Sonic and Tails for the short time that they are in this show, like, they only show up in the first episode, and that's it. But seeing them was awesome, especially Sonic, of course. And I honestly expected like a mini credit scene to like that would lead up to the third movie, because if you did not know that this show takes place in between the second movie and the third movie, which comes out later this year. And they didn't show us anything at all. Like, once Wade wins the tournament, once Knuckles beats the bad guy, that's it. Like, it honestly ends abruptly. And of course, a lot of people would not like abrupt endings, and this show had one. So that's another L for the Knuckles series. And as you can see from what I've been talking about in the past few minutes, there's a lot of things that I did not like compared to things that I did like. Like I said, I would not call the show a bad show. It's just a very disappointing show. I had expectations, and they were not met. But of course, it's best to not have expectations. That way you will actually enjoy what you're watching or doing, and it'll be much easier to, rather than if you do have expectations and if they're not met, then it's just going to be disappointing and you won't be able to enjoy it. And that's pretty much me with this show. So if I had to rate this show out of 10, I would give it a solid 6. They honestly did great with the CGI for Knuckles and his grandfather and Sonic and Tails, but when it comes to the story, I did not care about Wade's family issues. I did not care about Wade's story, and we get to see his story a lot. Like, they might as well change the title of the show to Wade and Knuckles, or just Wade, because that's pretty much what this show is. Yes, Knuckles is in it, and he does have a big role, but he barely shows up in the later half of the show, and it's pretty sad. But I think it's understandable budget-wise, because since this is a show, not a movie, they would not give this project a bigger budget, and they don't want to, save, or they don't want to waste too much money, because one, they're going to get Idris Elba, who's a well-known actor, and two, the CGI is just going to be a lot of money. So I'm guessing that's probably why Knuckles isn't in the show for a long time compared to Wade. But yeah, it's understandable, but still disappointing. So that's pretty much how I would describe this show. A disappointing but fun show. That's what the Knuckles series is to me. And that's pretty much how I would end this review. For you guys who saw this show, what are your thoughts on the show? Who's your favorite Sonic character? Are you excited for the Sonic movie 3? I'm still excited. I don't care if this show drags the universe down a bit. I am still excited for the movie, because I heard that they have a whole writing team, like a whole different team working on the movie compared to the team that worked on the show. So that does give me hope still. And yeah, that's it for this review. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you're planning to see the show, or if you've already seen it, what are your thoughts. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.